And US President Joe Biden is all set to hold the Leaders Summit on climate. 40 world leaders have been invited to join the summit virtually. Biden is likely to unveil an updated carbon pledge to reduce emissions by 2030. Biden faces the task of putting forward a non-binding but symbolic goal to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. The step is crucial as it is likely to have a tangible impact on climate change efforts not only in the US but around the world. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also participate in the Leaders Summit. He will speak during the first session on our collective sprint to 2030. Russian President Putin, he is also set to deliver a speech during the summit. On Wednesday, Putin said he wanted Russia's total net greenhouse emissions to be less than that of European Union over the next 30 years. He described the goal as tough but achievable. Meanwhile, China's President Xi Jinping will also be attending the Leaders Summit. The US and China will come together on one platform for the first time since Biden administration came to power in January this year. The two countries have time and again clashed over a range of issues, including human rights violation in Xinjiang and China's growing economic domination. US and China are world's two biggest greenhouse gas emitters. Biden made US rejoin the Paris Climate Agreement on his first day in office. The climate crisis poses a complex political challenge for Biden. Scientists, environmental groups and even business leaders, they have called upon Biden to set a target to cut greenhouse gas emissions by at least 50% by 2030. The 50% target would nearly double the nation's previous commitment. It not only requires dramatic changes in power and transportation sectors, but also needs significant increase in renewable energy like wind and solar power. And WION correspondent Kate Fisher is joining us live from Washington, D.C. for more on this story. Well, Kate, the climate crisis poses a complex political challenge for Biden. U.S. is one of the top greenhouse gas emitters. How important is it for Biden to set a target to cut countries' greenhouse gas emissions?
Well, he said that it's very important. He's made climate change one of his top priorities on the campaign trail. And then when he entered the White House, he said it was one of the things that he wanted to get to work on straight away. And this climate summit of world leaders is the first major part of fulfilling that promise. He is convening them, as you say, across 2 days, which is no mean feat considering the time zones involved. And yes, it will be very important for the US to really set a standard by committing to this goal of reducing their greenhouse ss emissions. There is no, we haven't been told exactly yet what the figure will be. The Washington Post has reported it believes it will be a 50% reduction. It certainly has to be something relatively ambitious because Joe Biden needs to show the rest of the world that the US is back in the climate change arena. Under Donald Trump, the country left the Paris Climate Accord, and now under Joe Biden, he is saying that he recognises that it is an existential crisis and he wants the US to be at the forefront of things. Hence this Leaders Summit and hence a relatively ambitious goal for cutting emissions. He's also doing it because he wants other countries to follow suit. He wants to lead by example, and his hope will be that if the US sets a relatively ambitious goal, it will encourage others to follow suit.
Also, Kate, Russian President Putin and Chinese President Xi Jinping, they will be speaking at the summit. What can we expect?
Yeah, this is really interesting, isn't it? The two countries, Russia and China, that at the moment particularly Joe Biden has pretty bad relations with. At the moment, he called Vladimir Putin a killer in a recent interview. There's obviously, he's just expelled diplomats and put new sanctions on after blaming Russia for a cyber attack in the US. And clearly relations with China have not been good since he's come to the White House either. That trade war still going on. Yet here we are. He's invited both leaders to this summit and both have accepted, and we fully expect both to be part of it. here in Washington. Well, here on the internet, of course, will be a virtual summit, which obviously makes things a lot easier to get these leaders on board. But it will be interesting to see Joe Biden, Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping all sharing the same platform and all in somewhat a level of agreement in that they all want to try to fight this climate crisis. The White House saying that Joe Biden can put aside the other differences that he has with China and Xi Jinping because they do share this common goal, and they've already released a joint statement to say that they will work together in all seriousness to try to combat this. So the White House essentially saying we can work with them on one thing, but we can also criticise them on things like human rights as well.
WION now available in your country. Download the app and get all the news on the move.